the banks of the Mississippi River, there once lived a boy named Tom Sawyer, who caused his Aunt Polly more trouble than a barrel of catfish.
Tom Sawyer, you broke Judge Thatcher's window today. That toe's not sore, Tom. Get up and go to school. Tom Sawyer, stop where you are or I'll box your ears. Tom?
You call me Aunt Polly?
You broke the cookie jar.
Truth was, Tom's mind was on other things, which he soon told to Bill Harper.
Bill, meet me tonight down at the riverfront.
What do you aim to do, Tom?
I'm not Tom anymore. I'm the Black Avenger of the Spanish Main. You'll be the terror of the seas. We're bold, brave river pirates, starting tonight at midnight. Look, a campfire on the island. Somebody's here.
Run for it, Tom. Back to the boat.
Oh, pirates don't run from trouble, Bill. Come on. Let's find out who's at that campfire.
Creeping to the campfire, the pirates came upon two men quarreling with each other, Dr. Robinson and Injun Joe. A third man, a tramp named Muff Potter, was asleep nearby. Suddenly, the Injun drew his knife and struck the doctor down. Quickly, the Injun put the knife in the hand of the third man dozing near the fire.
Why, the Injun's gonna blame someone else. That tramp, Muff Potter. He'll be arrested for sure.
Like startled deer, the pirates sped back to their boat and swore each other to secrecy.
Only 3 of us know the truth, Bill. If we talk, that Injun will scalp us.
Muff Potter was arrested, and it looked as though the truth would never come out. Then one day, Muff Potter's lawyer hauled Tom Sawyer to court and dragged the truth out of him.
Now, under oath, point to the man who used this knife that night on Jackson's Island. Point him out.
It was him. There by the window, Injun Joe.
You're in a peck of trouble now, Tom Sawyer. Injun Joe's free, and he'll be after you. 'Cause now he knows you saw that fight on Jackson's Island.
Weeks passed, and when Injun Joe failed to return, Tom Sawyer grew braver. Then, one day he confided to his girl, Becky Thatcher.
It was a black box full of money. A real treasure box. Well, that's what Doc Robinson and Injun Joe quarreled over. I heard them, so I know, Becky.
Where's the treasure buried?
There's an old barn on Jackson's Island. Must be buried in there.
Let me go with you.
Nope. Girls' bad luck on treasure hunts.
You're just scared.
I'm not. I'm hunting for that treasure tonight with Bill Harper. Ready, Terror?
Ready, Black Avenger.
Start digging in that corner, where the floorboard's loose. Treasure might be there. I'll stand guard.
No sooner had Bill started digging than he struck something hard.
Tom, I found the treasure. I found it.
But just then, Tom ran back from the doorway.
Bill, let it be. Quick up the ladder to the loft. Somebody's coming, and I think it's Injun Joe.
Somebody tries to steal money. I feel it.
Carefully, Tom spliced their pants and shirts together, then tied one end to a beam. Soon, they lowered themselves to the floor.
Leg it for the river now, Tom.
Wait a minute. Injun Joe must have headed for the cave on the other side of the island. He's gonna rebury the treasure there. Let's go after him.
Not me. I'm going home.
Not long after, a ferry boat took a picnic crowd to Jackson's Island, and Tom invited Becky Thatcher along.
Do you really think Injun Joe hid the treasure in the cave, Tom?
Well, I'm not sure, but it would be a good place.
Why don't we explore it right now?
Suddenly, Tom tripped over something, fell to his knees.
Becky, look what I tripped over, the treasure.
That's wonderful. Now let's go back.
Wait, I can't see the entrance to the cave anymore. Becky, we're lost.
Grimly, Tom and Becky wandered underground. They had almost given up when they made a turn in the passageway, and then...
Look! A light! There's the entrance! We're safe!
Later on, Tom told the townspeople about the cave. They were sure Injun Joe would return to get his treasure, so they set up a guard and waited. One day, he returned and was caught.
I give up. I go peaceful.
Tom had helped catch Injun Joe, so he was a hero. And he had his share of the treasure, too. But all the money in the world couldn't keep him out of trouble, nor keep him from having more adventures.
This is the story of a young man named Peer Gynt. Peer lived in Norway, a beautiful, faraway country where the tall mountains are covered with ice, and the coastline has deep harbors of water so blue it reflects the snow-capped peaks above like beautiful mirrors. Peer Gynt, everyone agreed, was a handsome young man. Everyone also agreed that Peer had a bad habit of telling stories that were simply not true. When he grew up, Peer had decided he would marry a very beautiful girl just his own age. Her name was Solveig. Though she liked Peer very much, Solveig told him he would have to learn to tell the truth, or else they could never marry and be happy. Why, no one ever knew if Peer were telling the truth, not even his own mother. Someday, Solveig said to Peer, you'll tell a story that will get you in very serious trouble. But Peer just laughed. He didn't know how true those words of Solveig's were. One evening, as Peer was walking along, he thought to himself, I am clever. I am handsome. I can say just what I please. Peer thought so much about what a clever fellow he was that he forgot to watch where he was going, and he lost his way. He walked and walked and walked, trying to find his way out of the dark forest, for night was falling. Very tired, he finally lay down near a big cave. Peer seemed to hear a strange sound, but he fell asleep, not knowing that what he had heard came from deep within the mountain cave. It was the noise of the troll people, strange little creatures who were afraid of the sun and came out only after dark. He awoke for a moment. Then he fell into a deep sleep. He could hear the trolls no longer. Though Peer could not hear them, the trolls heard Peer, and they waited until they were sure he was sound asleep. Very slowly, softly, they crept out of the cave. The trolls quickly formed a circle around Peer. Then quietly the trolls carried the sleeping Peer far underground to the dark hall of the Mountain King. Peer awoke. He was surrounded by trolls, and there, sitting on a huge throne, Peer saw the largest and ugliest of them all, the king of the trolls. Peer thought to himself, I will tell these people I am a very important prince. They will be frightened and they will let me go. So, acting very bravely, Peer told the ugly trolls that he was Prince Peer Gynt, son of the King of Norway. Even though Peer was not a prince, the king of the trolls believed the story, and he said, "I was going to let you go, but since you are a prince, you will make a fitting husband for my daughter." Then Peer saw the troll princess. She had hair like seaweed, long, sharp teeth, and big, pointed ears. "I'm no prince," Peer shouted. "I was only telling a story." And he started to run. But now the angry trolls wouldn't believe Peer. They chased him through the cave, screaming after him. Peer ran as fast as he could. "If I ever get out, I'll never tell another story. Never, never." Peer ran. It was hard to see in the dark. He ran faster and faster. A troll caught his leg. Peer shook loose. There was a guard. Peer bowled him over. He was almost free. He dived for the entrance and rolled out of the cave. He was safe.
Centuries ago, the country of China had an emperor who lived in a magnificent palace surrounded by a beautiful garden. The emperor's name was Lin Chan, and he was proud of his luxurious home. He spent much of his time collecting all the things of beauty he could find. He wanted to have the best of everything to make his palace the showplace of the world. Just beyond the palace grounds, there was a thick forest, but Emperor Lin Chan had never wandered through its winding paths. However, many fishermen, farmers, merchants, and travelers had, and they all stopped to hear the song of a nightingale. It was the most wonderful melody they had ever heard. Even though the palace was greatly admired by everyone, those that heard the nightingale all agreed that its song was the most beautiful thing in all the land. One day, a message was brought to Emperor Lin Chan. It was from another emperor who had visited Lin Chan's country.
I enjoyed your beautiful nation, but most of all, I was enchanted by the voice of the nightingale. Nightingale? What nightingale?
The king was angry. Others had found something beautiful in his own kingdom that he had not discovered.
Find me this nightingale!
He roared at his chief minister. The frightened minister had never heard of the wonderful bird, but he asked everyone in the palace. No one had heard of the bird, for they always lived within the courtyards. Finally, one kitchen girl said she knew of the bird, for she had often wandered through the woods gathering berries. She led the minister through many paths until they came to a clearing. There on a tree sat the nightingale, and it started to sing. The minister knew this must be the bird the emperor wanted.
Your emperor commands you to appear before him at the palace.
The nightingale understood and swelled with pride to think she was to give a command performance. So off she went with the little girl and the minister to Emperor Lin Chan. A special stand had been prepared to receive the bird's concert at the palace. The emperor was anxious to hear the bird's famous voice. He gave the signal to sing, and the nightingale burst forth in beautiful song. The emperor was amazed at the beautiful song.
You must stay with me, nightingale, for I am the emperor and must have all things beautiful.
The bird was proud to be the royal singer, and she burst forth with song again. Months passed, and the nightingale continued to please Emperor Lin Chan with her songs. One day, a mysterious package was brought to the palace along with a note. To the memory of my visit to your kingdom. A gift from one of my grateful visitors who enjoyed all this beauty. Indeed, it was a rare gift. A mechanical bird covered with beautiful jewels. What a beautiful present. The emperor wound up the spring, and the bird started to sing.
It's the song of the nightingale.
True, it was an exact copy of the real bird's voice. This delighted Emperor Lin Chan.
Now, I not only have the most beautiful song, but the most beautiful bird, and it will sing for me forever.
He was so enchanted by this elegant toy that he played it almost continually. Then one day he said,
I have two birds. They shall sing me a duet.
but when he looked for the real nightingale, she was gone. The emperor was furious.
That ungrateful bird has run off. Never allow it in my palace again, for this shall be the royal singer.
And so it was that the mechanical bird continued to give out its beautiful song for the pleasure of Lin Chan. The real nightingale had fled the palace with a broken heart, believing the emperor favored the new singing marvel. She sat among the branches as before, but her voice was stilled. Years passed, and the emperor listened to his beautiful mechanical bird. When one day, something had gone wrong. The spring had broken, and the machinery was torn apart. The emperor became excited.
Get me all the craftsmen in the kingdom.
But work as they would, the results were always the same. The bird would no longer sing. The Emperor Lin Chan became very sad without his beautiful songbird. So unhappy that he fell ill and the doctors could do nothing for him. Lin Chan was dying. The whole kingdom was saddened. Far out in the forest, a beautiful woman stopped near the real nightingale.
Many years ago, when I was a little girl, I took you to sing for the Emperor. It would bring him great happiness if you could sing once more before he dies.
The Emperor was very still as the unhappy attendants waited for the end, when suddenly the nightingale was singing again, as beautiful as ever before. The Emperor opened his eyes, and strength surged through his whole body. The true nightingale's song made Lin Chan well and happy again. The kingdom rejoiced, and the nightingale took her place of honor as the royal singer forever after. Many centuries ago in the ancient country of Persia, there lived two brothers. Qasim Baba was wealthy and lived in a big house, while Ali Baba was poor and only had a small dwelling near the edge of town. Every day, Ali Baba went into the forest to work as a woodcutter. One day, while working in a new grove of trees, he heard the sound of horses' hooves. Knowing robbers had attacked people in these woods, he cautiously climbed a tree to watch. There, in a clearing by a huge rock, he saw a band of thieves. He counted 40 in all. The leader faced the rock and called out, "Open sesame!" And a strange thing happened. Ali Baba couldn't believe his eyes. The rock had opened up like a giant door, revealing a cave beyond. The thieves marched into the cave carrying their sacks of stolen goods. Ali Baba realized what he had discovered. It's the thieves' treasure hideout. Soon the 40 thieves returned from within the cave. After mounting their horses, the robber chief shouted, "Close sesame!" And the rock door swung into place, leaving nothing to reveal the hidden wealth sealed inside. Then, while the amazed Ali Baba watched, the thieves rode away. Soon, Ali Baba got enough courage to go close to the rock and try the magic words. Open, sesame. The door obeyed. Nervously, he went inside the passageway. It led him to a giant cavern filled with chests of jewels and bags of gold and silver. Never had Ali Baba seen so much treasure. But he knew now he had learned a dangerous secret. If the robbers found him here, they would slay him on the spot. Quickly, he gathered up 2 sacks of gold and dashed out. Close, sesame. Ali Baba hurried for home. He told the story to his wife, but she said it was wrong to keep the money. It was stolen and must be returned to its true owners. But Ali Baba was afraid that if the news got out, the robbers would know that he had found their secret hiding place. So he went to his rich brother Kasim for advice. He told him the complete story, even the secret words. Open sesame, eh? My dear brother, tell no one about this. You were wise to come to me. I will decide what to do. But the greedy Kasim decided to rob the cave himself that very night. The sight of the treasure was more than he'd expected. He began gathering and counting stacks of money. His greed caused him to forget the danger he was in.
I shall be richer than a Maharaja.
The bandits had returned. Kasim Baba cringed in terror as they crowded around him. The angry thieves beat Kasim with swords and clubs, then left him to die, tied to a post as a warning to others who might want to steal the treasure. The next day, not finding his brother at home, Ali Baba decided to go to the cave once more. Inside, he found his brother half dead. Kasim, what have they done to you, my brother? But the brother could not speak. I must get him to a doctor at once. Later, the robbers returned to their cave and found their victim gone.
Someone else knows our secret. Go to every doctor in town and find out who has treated a wounded man.
So the 40 thieves went to track down their captive. Early that evening, an oil merchant stopped at Ali Baba's house and knocked on the door.
Please, sir, may I stay the night and leave my oil jars in your courtyard so my donkeys can rest?
Oh, please be my guest. You are welcome. 40 oil jars lined the walk to Ali Baba's house. But only one jar contained oil. The others held a thief, for the merchant was the robber chief in disguise.
Remember, only when I give the signal will you come out. Then we will destroy Ali Baba and his whole household.
Later that evening, while Ali Baba's wife was serving the meal, she noticed a hidden dagger in the sleeve of the merchant. This must be a thief, she thought. Our lives are in danger. She ran out to get help when a voice called out softly,
Is it time?
Not yet.
She peeked into each jar and found someone hiding. When she saw the last jar with oil, she had an idea. With the help of 2 neighbors, the oil was brought into the kitchen to boil. Then, as the neighbors carried the oil, Ali Baba's wife dropped ladles full of the hot liquid into each jar. Out popped the thieves in pain and terror. Confusion turned to panic, and the thieves were routed. Off into the night they sped, never to return. What is that? Ali Baba and the disguised robber chief heard the noise.
My men have come out early to destroy your household, so now I must make short work of you.
But Ali Baba's wife and the neighbors captured the robber chief in one of his own jars. With the danger from the thieves past, Ali Baba turned over the secret treasure to the authorities. His reward from the grateful citizens was so large that Ali Baba and his family were comfortable for the rest of their lives. When all the treasure was gone, the mysterious cave door closed, never to open again.
Distant land of Norway, there lived a handsome young boy named Peer Gynt. Peer was very lazy. He did nothing but dream of the day when he would marry a pretty little girl named Solveig. lived near the ocean, and like many other Norwegian boys, had his own boat, which one day he would sail all by himself. Pier's friends worked hard mending sails and learning all the jobs a sailor had to know, but Pier always said, tomorrow will be time enough. Solvig told Pier he should get busy, but Pier would only laugh, and he never did get around to learning all the things a sailor must know. The time when he had to sail his own boat came much sooner than Pier expected. There was to be a race. All the boys Pier's age would sail their own boats. Pier worked a little harder, but he spent much more time telling Solvig what he was going to do after he won the race. Solvig warned Pier to stop putting off his work, but Pier paid no attention. The sky was dark and the wind was strong on the day of the race. In the distance, Pier could see huge storm clouds. Suddenly, he wished he had learned more about sailing and had worked on his boat. What would happen to him if he were caught all alone in his boat at sea in a big storm? Pier would not even have gone into the race, but he had told Solvig how he was going to win. Now he was ashamed to quit. The day had grown very dark. The little boats were already far from shore. Pier worked very hard. The wind was strong and his little boat skimmed over the rough sea. It seemed that he would win the race in no time at all. The young men who sailed the other boats watched their course. They watched the sky and they watched the shore for a storm warning. They did not sail as fast as Pier because they knew the time to run before the wind had not yet come. Suddenly, the howling wind crashed into the sails. The little boats were caught in the storm. The other boats were on their way back to shore, but Pier could not turn about. He couldn't haul down the sail. Water smashed into the boat. The mast creaked. The seams of the boat began to open. It was too late now to fix them. Pier didn't know what to do. The waves around him seemed as tall as mountains. The water crashed down on the little boat. Pier hung to the boat for dear life. The mast bent like a whip, and then it snapped, crashing down on the tiny boat. The sail piled down around the boat. The mast and rigging fell over Pier's head. And in the howling storm, that was the last thing Pier remembered. The storm passed as quickly as it came. Completely wrapped in its canvas sail, Pier's boat washed on shore. When Solvig and the townspeople rushed to Pier's tiny ship, they found him inside. He was wet and cold, and he couldn't remember what had happened. But he said to Solvig, I have been very lucky, and from now on, Solvig, I'm going to be a good sailor and do my work when it has to be done.